stadium, if we was to invest in it, but here's the thing, right? The majority of Manchester United fans only care about the first team. That's evident in the financial statements. Most of the revenue, most of the money that this club generates is directed towards the first team. Most of the issues that people raise when it comes to the Glazers, right? I'm not talking about specific fans, right? I'm not talking about legacy fans. I'm talking about the media agenda, the overall narrative, what hits Sky Sports. The only time it becomes an issue is when it's regarding the first team, right? So obviously the club prioritizes the first team because all they see is that's what fans care about. If today, right, Joel Glazer said, you know what, we are not going to back Eric Ten Hag no more in this window, and we're going to invest all our investment into the women's team and developing the women's team's new stadium, right? Do you think the fans would agree? Majority of the fans would agree with that? No. Sponsors would pull out, would lose money on broadcasting deals. The money would pretty much evaporate, right? And secondly, in terms of the stadium, right? Fine, we didn't invest in a stadium. We took £1 billion and invested into the squad. But again, a sacrifice has to be made. Tottenham Hotspur has got an £800 million mortgage, and their transition from White Hart Lane into that new stadium, right, came at a cost. And that cost was not being able to give Pochettino investment whilst he was still competing with Manchester United and Man City for all of those times when he was at Tottenham Hotspurs. Same with Arsene Wenger. When they moved from Highbury to the Emirates, what was his biggest criticism? They're not spending. So sacrificing has to be made somewhere. If we was to say, okay, fine, we're going to invest into a new stadium, then be prepared for the sacrifice in the men's first team because no money's going to go there. Pochettino went a transfer window, right, without not signing anyone. Hold on, Eddie. Without signing anyone and having to sell his best players, right? We, Manchester United, right, at the same time, were splashing 80 million on Harry Maguire, 90 million on Pogba, Di Maria 80 million, selling him the next year for like 60 million, 80 million.
This is the executive arm that you're talking about. That's so good.
Hold on. But this is my important point. When the board actually signed each individual of those players, right? At the time, I'm not talking about now. I'm not talking about after we've signed the players. I'm talking about at the time, right? Manchester United, these targets were the best targets in European football. When we was looking at Paul Pogba, right, he was the best profile player in European football. Manchester City had a contract for him. Real Madrid had a contract for him. Chelsea had a contract for him. Everyone was after his signature. Manchester United, right, being the biggest club and having the biggest bank, closed that deal. Same with Harry Maguire. The Harry Maguire deal looks like a waste of money now, but at the time, off the back of the Euros performance that he had, right, he had deals. He had contracts offers from Manchester City, Chelsea. Leicester was about to give him the big deal, and we needed a centre back. It was the right move at the time. Now, where we're saying, oh, they spent £1 billion and they've got nothing to show for it. Well, if you buy Juan Mata for £40 million, who's a number 10, and you stick him on the right wing for 6 years and most majority of the time, guess what? You got a flop player. If you take Paul Pogba, who was a £90 million playing on the wing at Juventus, and you put him into double pivot for 6 years at Manchester United, guess what? You're going to waste 90 million. So it isn't necessarily Glazers like not backing the managers. It's the managers not utilising and managing assets properly. Because how many players? Look at Sancho now. We bought him on the right wing, he stick him on the left. Like there's so much issues in terms of getting the consistency from the players that overall it just looks like a waste of money. It's the same thing with Frankie de Jong.
The thing you're doing right now is just blaming everyone but the Glazers. When the reality
no, but this is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying though. But this is what I'm saying. The funds have been there. The funds have been there.
Joe, one second. The funds have been there, right? But again, above all, they're the ones who employ the managers. They've backed them, but then they've also sacked them.
Okay,
right? But we ran through so many different managers that we're now stuck with these inflated contracts for these players we can't get rid of.
Yeah,
we have such an unbalanced
squad. The Glazers didn't want. Look, who wanted David Moyes out after 9 months? The Glazers or the fans? Let's be honest. Be honest. Who wanted David Moyes out after we won the Premier League title in 2013, right? And we appointed David Moyes. Sir Alex Ferguson came out and said, "Back your manager," right? After that, in the summer, we was linked with Gareth Bale. we was linked with Thiago, we was linked with Cesc Fabregas. David Moyes had his other plans, and ultimately he had to pay the price for that. But after 9 months, in January or February, whenever it wasn't the Glazers being like, yeah, nah, that's not good enough. It was the fans. So, like,
So
what do you want? What do you
ultimately,
want?
in a
What do you want?
business,
What do you want? Hold on, Addy. Hold on, Addy. Hold on.
Good day,
What do you
good day,
want the
good day,
Glazers to?
good day,
What do you want
everyone.
the
Good day,
Glazers to
for.
do at the time? Ignore the fans and keep David Moyes and let him stick his 6 years out like a normal business would do when they appoint their manager,
But they
or
seem to do that anyway, don't they? They don't listen to the fans anyway.
but
They've
hold
only
on.
just started.
All right,
They've
look,
only just started to come through
this is
now.
what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like you're not being objective now.
I'm
You're
there, mate.
blaming the
Mate.
Glazers. Okay, so wait,
No,
let me finish
because
my
they've
point.
done a commercial
Let me
arm,
finish
which
my
I
point.
can understand. Mate, I can understand they've got a commercial arm that they've done really, really well with. I appreciate that.
Nah,
Well
bro,
done.
look,
Congratulations.
fans accountable, right? Because at the end of the day, right, fans are customers. All business do marketing.